Okay, we've finished the second section and now we're ready to work on the third section. So we have leaned to the right, and now we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick up stitches and we're going to make rectangles that lean to the left. Now we have to go back to the left side. So what I'm going to do is, if you're working in one color, just continue knit a row back. I'm going to knit a row with my first color. You'll see that my first color is just kind of hanging out at the bottom there. So I'm going to grab that yarn and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knit until I get to the other side. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up 10 stitches. It should be a little bit easier since we have slipped the stitches from the previous row. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my 10 stitches, and again we go right from the top all the way to the bottom, as close to the needle as we can get. You don't want to split the yarn. Okay, and you'll see there's a little bit of a gap here. So when I pick up my last stitch, I'm going to go a little bit below. So I'm going to close that gap as I pick up my last stitch. It's a little finicky. There we go. So you've got your 10 stitches picked up, and you are going to purl one row. And this should be the last one that we picked up. And then just count. We got 10 there and we did 10 here. So now we're going to do the opposite of what we did last time. So we're going to slip the first stitch knitwise, then we're going to knit 8, and then we're going to knit 2 together to close this gap. Okay? So we're slipping the first one as if we're knitting. Gonna knit 8. And then we're going to knit 2 together. And again, what I like to do is I like to pull the yarn pretty tight here. So I'm pulling it tight as I'm finishing the stitch. And that'll just make sure that that gap gets closed up tightly. And then we're going to purl back. and then we do it again. So this section will be slipping the knit stitch, knitting 8, knit 2 together, and then purl back. And you're going to do that until you empty out all the stitches, and then you're going to pick up stitches along the next edge, and you're going to do that all the way until you use up all your gray stitches, or all the stitches from the previous row. And then you're just going to repeat those 2 sections. You repeat the second section and then the third section for as long as you want the bag to be, or the hat to be, however many repeats you're doing. That makes up the body of your work. So if we look at the finished product, you can see it just consists of right-leaning rectangles and left-leaning. So here with my sample, I did 1, 2, 3. I did the second section twice. I did each section twice here with mine, but you could make them longer. You could do more repeats. You could end after 1 repeat. It's all up to how you want to work it. And the next video, I will show you how to make the ending triangles before we put the handles on our bag.